Welcome to this edition of the Walking Dead episode Diaries. This episode is called Outpost 22. This is one of the places that is out there at the end of this rail line, which our heroes are trying to make their way towards. And some of our people are there trying to figure out what to do next. So the story really is centered around this conflict that is brewing between our people and the troopers who are keeping watch over them. It was really fun to write a working train. We thought that it would be cool to have the Commonwealth secretly working on connecting the US via rail lines again. It took a lot of planning to do this. We couldn't shoot it where our normal stuff was shot. We had to go travel outside of our production area. And we used an actual train museum that has this working train. We did use drones to kind of get the very high overhead shots of the trains moving. We really maxed out how much we could use the train while we were there on location. For our characters, children walkers are particularly heartbreaking. From the very first episode, there is this reminder that zombies are not just monsters. There is a tragic story behind every zombie. These were once people. I think for Maggie, particularly as she's looking for her son, it's like this child walker is haunting her.
There have been so many scenes that have stuck with me and been breakthrough moments, both in my own journey and in my psyche. You know, the best things in the show are the hardest ones to think about and the hardest things to reflect on.
We generally only try to cast kids who are of a certain age to look younger. This kid, when he auditioned, was like, it is my dream to be a zombie. He had a really great time and did a great job for us.
The crew who worked so much harder than all of us, those are the guys who are in the mug every day, working 10, 11, 12 hours. And every time I go on set, I'm just trying to make sure that their day is worth something because they're giving so much of themselves. I feel like that's the point of me being a storyteller.
That was one of those scenes where the setting does a lot of the work for you. We were on those train tracks and we're actually hauling buckets of rocks, and you could really look over and see this group of people with their work assignment. It felt very real, like it was happening in real time. I like that day, and I love the days in the forest. They're beautiful when you catch a little bit of breeze and shade.
Norman really wanted his bike to be back, and we were like, we want your bike to be back too. But we knew that we wanted a big, memorable moment. If we're gonna bring the bike back, it's gotta be cool. Obviously, there are times where that is our stunt, Daryl, but Norman is really, truly excellent at doing those kinds of stunts, and he was excited about riding the particular kind of bike that the troopers were gonna use. It was just really cool to work on and to see it all come together.
I'm gonna miss Georgia for sure, especially the crew there and all the nice people I met there.
Welcome to this edition of the Walking Dead episode Diaries. This episode is called Faith. Our characters are in these really difficult situations, and they have to have some trust and faith in each other and in whether things are going to work out. A lot of them have their faith tested in some kind of way in this episode.
Dan added a new element of surprise into filming the last few episodes. I always heard his name come up in conversation, but it was especially fun seeing him and Ross and Cooper start improvising together behind the scenes. They're all really talented voice actors, so at any given point, you might hear them running their lines while sounding like Gremlins or Christopher Walken.
Love coming back. What a joy it is to come onto the show. Cooper, what a pal. And Ross, in between takes, we're doing all sorts of fun Walking Dead jokes. Hey, it's me, Chris Walken. Now, it's the Walking Dead.
I seem to remember us having this running joke because the warden was such a natty dresser with his double collars and his fitted wool coat. I don't know, I kind of pictured him as this frustrated J. Crew catalog model who then became a warmonger for some reason. Now that I'm retelling it, I don't know what was funny about it. Maybe it was just the cold weather freezing my brain cells, but at the time there was something hilarious about the way the warden dressed.
You always know it's going to be a great day when you're working with Josh McDermott. He's the best. He's the most playful person in the room. But the thing is with Josh, he has this really annoying ability to make you lose your mind with something so funny. But then as soon as they call action, he's like back to being the professional, in character, fully focused actor. Whereas I'm still like trying to pick myself up from the floor. I don't know how he does it, but it makes for a fun day at work.
Everybody was really geeked up and excited to tell this final story. And within the last 8 episodes, there was an energy on set. People were just excited to finish strong.
Filming alongside so many of the other cast members was a dream come true for me. There's so many characters that my character hasn't gotten the chance to interact with. I have a lot of love and respect for the people who play these characters. You know, in real life, you get pretty close to your castmates, but sometimes in such a large-scale show, you barely have a chance to interact with each other as characters. So, again, for me, that was just a dream come true to get to play with them.
Oh my God, it was just freezing cold that night. It was snowing, and then it was a lot of emotions, a lot of freezing, a lot of laughter. The crew and us actors and camera and everyone was just trying to keep up the mood, trying to make the best out of it. But it was also kind of magical having snow in Georgia.
Welcome to this edition of The Walking Dead episode Diaries. This episode is called Family. We felt it was really important to talk about this sense of found family that our people have, as well as literal families that people are fighting very hard to reunite with and preserve. That is one of the most important emotional themes that runs across the entire series, and it's something that we really wanted to highlight as we get to the very ending.
That train car with Magna, Connie, Princess Kelly, and Tyler, that was fun. We were cracking up constantly because we had to pretend that we were in the car and it was moving, so we were shaking our bodies the entire time. And then when someone forgot, then we had an elbow in your chest. That was a fun, cold day at work.
Working with Lauren, Angel, Nadia, and Cameron was a blast. There was a lot of laughter and good times, an absolute joy to work with them. And not only are they talented, but they're also lovely people.
That scene was so intense for me. I mean, there were so many drafts of the final scripts coming out, and at that point, I don't think I knew what would happen to Lydia or Elijah. So I remember we only had one shot at getting the bite right, so we rehearsed it over and over again, getting all the possible camera angles before shooting the real thing. But after cleaning up all the fake blood that sprayed everywhere, I turned around and then I see Cassidy taking extra bites out of her own fake arm, which was hilarious. I guess she just needed to find out what it tasted like.
I had all my wires hooked up. I had this wire connected underneath like a prosthetic sticker, so it was hidden with the sticker, but it looked like a bite mark. And fun fact, the blood tastes like cherry soap. It's kind of sweet, and honestly, I did not mind it.
I think for Judith, she thinks I have a personal responsibility to fight for the things that I believe in. And if it requires a physical battle, she's ready for that, which I think is a very Grimes family thing.
I want to tell y'all about meeting Judith's family in real life. On a convention cruise that we did, I got to meet Chandler and Sarah Wayne Callie. They were so kind and loving, and it was probably one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had.
Cassidy, who plays Lydia, she's amazing. She's so bright and bubbly, and then she plays such an angst-ridden character. The difference is so interesting, but she can tap into the Lydia pain spectrum so well and so quickly.
The getting my arm chopped off scene, that was super fun to shoot. I remember doing a bunch of research because I had no idea how to act like I've gotten a limb cut off of me. I was just watching a bunch of scenes from other films of characters getting their arms chopped off or legs. But yeah, I was so excited to get into that. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get my arm chopped off on Walking Dead.
Welcome to this final edition of The Walking Dead episode Diaries. The series finale is titled Rest in Peace. This episode, we lose some characters. So that was a big part of why we chose this title, but also the whole series is ending. And so we felt that that was an appropriate title to reflect the feelings of grief, but also a wish for peace and a sense of closure for the future.
There was so little that I did know about the character in the beginning. You know, at that time, all I had really seen of the character was the comic book and the page in there where she's getting attacked by one of the walkers, and she doesn't last very long. So I want to make as much of this character as I can.
To be here from the very beginning and see all the changes, cast going out, cast coming in, and have it be that big of a success. But it's more than that. I've seen my character ebb and flow with so many different things that have been personable to so many different people from so many different walks of life. And it's all been positive.
After my character was wrapped, I remember giving a little speech, bawling. Kaylee and I kept looking at each other, making each other bawl. The whole day we were just a mess. I would look at her and she'd be crying, and then it'd make me cry, and then she'd finally stop crying, and then she'd look at me and I was crying, and then we were just crying together. Oh, it was really lovely. I just love her. I'm gonna miss everyone so much.
Filming the final episode was definitely challenging emotionally. That was my last time ever playing Judith, so it was definitely bittersweet. A few of us rapped that day, actually. We did some little speeches. There were some tears. We had the best time just celebrating our success with the show and celebrating our characters at that.
I was just trying not to get overwhelmed, but I couldn't help it because this cast truly was such a kind cast, and I was loving to watch everyone work together, seeing how the other actors were playing their characters, and everybody was just so kind and wonderful.
I'm very proud. I love that I get to be a part of something that meant so much to people, but mostly I'm proud of getting to work with actors who gave so much. These cast members and this crew gives 150% no matter what. So it didn't change for us because it was the last one. We didn't say, oh, okay, we're going to go harder now. We've been going hard.
Every day, as we got closer, it was a little more weight lifted. I couldn't see it until we got into the Monday of the last week. When we got into that last Monday, I'm like, oh my God, I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel.
The Walking Dead, the mothership that is The Walking Dead, there will never be anything quite like that again. What a cool ride.
When I watch the show on screen, it really translates, like the feeling of being there. I'm just so grateful that we've gotten the chance to make it. I feel really lucky.
Being part of this final chapter was just a shock. I never expected to last this long, and I'm forever grateful for this experience. And I know no set's ever going to be like this again.
I didn't expect to get emotional at all, but when they called rap, I remember just bursting into tears. It really was a feeling of like, wow, we did it, just like that, and I'll never forget it.
That is a wrap on The Walking Dead.
Thank you for joining us for these special episodes. We hope you enjoyed the series and want to thank you for being a part of the TWD family.